Do you love spending money in the Eververse store? Well, if you do, you're in luck because the Dawning is right around the corner and Tess is ready to open shop. Having said that, the Dawning is also an opportunity to not spend real cash, and in this video we're going to break down Dawning cosmetics that'll be sold for both Bright Dust and Silver during the 2024 event. So this is the full Eververse schedule for those items this year. As always, there are some items which will only be sold for Silver, so there is no in-game currency purchase option for some of the stuff, but equally, plenty of new and returning items will be available for both of those currencies. And so if you want to know what they are and avoid spending Silver when you can instead spend Bright Dust, hopefully this video will be helpful. We also have the rotation and running order for the event this year. So guys, I hope you enjoy the video. Also, do us a favor, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, as around 60% of viewers on this channel haven't yet done that. That really does help us out, but now, let's get into it. And firstly, shout out to todayindestiny.com that has the full Eververse inventory as well as the costings. I'll link their site down below. And let's get straight into the Eververse cosmetics for the year. Firstly, one of the things that a lot of players will go after will be the armor sets, and this time it's the Astral Stasis Drake set, which are the kind of winter dragon styled pieces of armor. They're pretty interesting, and they can be purchased for 1,500 silver, but they have an additional purchase option of 6,000 Bright Dust. This is what we typically see in events, so that option remains. And kind of like what we saw with Festival of the Lost, it would appear that armor sets from previous years will also be available this time around, so there'll be at least a total of 5 Dawning armor sets which are up for grabs this year. With that out of the way though, of course Dawning has a handful of exotic weapon ornaments. Unfortunately, there aren't any new ones this year. And as well as that, 5 of them are going to be silver only according to the schedule. And that includes ones that have previously been sold for Bright Dust. Although there are a few dotted into the rotation which can be purchased for Bright Dust. So let's focus on the 3 weeks that the event will be active. For week 1, in the Eververse store, we'll be able to pick up the Winterview shell. That one will cost 2,850 Bright Dust. It isn't actually being sold for silver this year. Up next though, there is the Shaky Skating multiplayer exotic emote, and this will have a cost of 4,250 Bright Dust. Keep in mind it will also be sold for 1,000 silver, so if you want to avoid that silver cost, be sure to grab it in the week that it's available. Additionally, we have the Howling Blizzard legendary transmit effect, which will be up for 450 Bright Dust on week 1, as well as the Dawning Festiveness shader for 300 Bright Dust, and the Aniline Shock shader. But then we also have the Ice Carving exotic emote. That one will sell for 1,200 silver, or 3,250 Bright Dust. Plus the Snowball Toss legendary emote will be up for 500 silver, or 700 Bright Dust. But the final week 1 items, and arguably the juicy stuff, will include the Cocoa Shell exotic ghost, and this will be sold in a few silver bundles. As you can see, there are 3 different silver costs, but also it will sell for 2,850 Bright Dust. Another new one this year is the Dawning Lights exotic ship. This one will sell for 800 silver, or 2,000 Bright Dust. And then we have the Polar Prancer exotic Sparrow, which will be up for 2,500 Bright Dust in the first week, as well as the Frostborn ornament for the Black Talon, which will be up for 1,250 Bright Dust. But finally for week 1, we'll also see the Great Pigeon projection, which will sell for 1,500 Bright Dust. So those are the week 1 items. Unfortunately, a couple of new things in there as well. For week 2 of the event though, which will begin the 17th of December, we have the Cross EDZ Symphony, an exotic Sparrow here, which is once again new for this year. I'm sure this will appear for silver in the first week, and it will cost 800 silver, but it will sell on week 2 for 2,500 Bright Dust. Additionally, in the second week, there is the Frosty Friend multiplayer emote, which will sell for 1,000 silver, or 4,250 Bright Dust. And then we'll see the Snowflake projection, which will be up for 1,500 Bright Dust, the Dawning Celebration shader, and the Celestia shader, both of those selling for 300 Bright Dust. Following that, we'll get the Get That Bread exotic emote, which will be up for 1,000 silver, or 3,250 Bright Dust. The Graceful Spin legendary emote, which will be 500 silver, or 700 Bright Dust. And then we have the Hard Packed Shell exotic ghost returning from previous years for 2,850 Bright Dust, followed by the Festive Stag exotic ship. And as we can see again, there are a couple of bundles that this will appear in for silver, but it will also sell for 2,000 Bright Dust. And another new one for this year is the Glowmobile, which is up for 2,500 Bright Dust. Keep in mind, that will also sell for silver. Then there's the ornament for Hardlight, the Brumal Dawn, which will be up for 1,250 Bright Dust. And finally, the Candy Cane projection, which will sell for 1,500 Bright Dust. And then for the final week of the Dawning, beginning the 24th of December, firstly, there'll be the Snowball Fight exotic emote. This can sell for 1,000 silver, but also 3,250 bright dust. Keep in mind, many of these items that we'll see in the second and third week will have sold for silver already. So it's purely a case of holding out if you don't want to spend the silver. There's also the Ice Ball Effects Transman effect for 450 bright dust. Then for shaders, we'll see Shark Bite and Beneficence on week 3, both costing 300 bright dust. Moving on though, for week 3, we have the Sad Tree exotic emote. Again, a couple of silver bundle costs, but it'll also come up for 3,250 bright dust. Then we have the Holiday Caroling legendary emote for 500 silver or 700 bright dust. And a couple more new items this year. Firstly, there's the Wintry Neighbor Shell, which is a unicorn themed exotic ghost, essentially, and this one's 600 silver or 2,850 bright dust. And then we have the A Frictional Cooler. I think this is coming back from previous years. This will sell for 800 silver or 2,000 bright dust, as well as the Peppermint Condition, a candy cane-esque exotic sparrow here for 800 silver and 2,500 bright dust. But the final couple of items include the Glee Barrage, which is the Xenophage ornament. This will be 700 silver or 1,250 bright dust. And very finally, there is the Snowfolk projection for 1,500 bright dust on week 3 as well. So that's the full rotation of items which will be sold for bright dust during the Dawning. And of course, if there are any that stand out, you now know what the purchase options will be, as well as precisely when they are going to show up in the store according to the rotation as it stands. Outside of all of these items, of course, there are a bunch of silver-specific items which won't sell for the bright dust currency, and there'll also be the items that can be picked up from the event card upgrade. Fortunately, all of those are pretty well signposted in the game via the event card or the offers in the Eververse store, so I don't think there's much reason to go into all of them for the purposes of this video, but I hope the bright dust component has at least helped you guys out. If it has, a rating below really does help us on the channel. Let us know down below if you're excited to pick up any of those items. For some reason, one of the main standouts for me is the unicorn shell. I think are just like neon colors and things that look different. As I said with Festival of the Lost, I really wish we were getting some new weapon ornaments for these events. But I suppose we'll go again next year, hopefully, and see if Bungie want to bring any back then. Otherwise, if you're looking to get details about the Festival of the Lost weapons, a preview for the event, or a general overview, I'll link some videos down below that have all the details on the Dawning this year. But again, I appreciate you tuning in. Get subscribed if you're new around here, and I can keep you posted with more Destiny content. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.